Guess the crowd didn't watch the game because I'm nobody's damn little brother, and neither is my team. I'm really proud of my team, how they played and what they did. I give Michigan a lot of credit. They shot the daylights out of it, especially Axel. They shot 40-some% from the three, and they took 100 free throws. That was the difference in the game. We made some boneheaded plays where we didn't step up on ball screens, let them get downhill, and we made some uncharacteristic fouling a guy and things like that. But probably was a hell of a basketball game to watch. And I ain't taking a backseat to nobody. I don't care what they've done and what they've done. They've deserved what they got. They're 29-2 and deserve every bit of it. But we deserve what we got, and we will get better because I won't make some of those same ball screen mistakes we get in the games. I think it was a 4-point game, and we gave up about 3 offensive rebounds, which we had more than they did, and they scored on them twice, and that was really the difference in the game. So I'm not into moral. There's no moral victories. I'm at Michigan State, no matter what those people think. And we've done it longer and better than most. So there's no moral victory, but I'm proud of them because I thought we played with them in every way, shape, or form. They made a couple of big plays. We didn't. We had 2 shots that went in and out when it was a 5-6 point game, one by Coop, one by Coe, and give them credit, and I give us credit. It's a hell of a basketball game. They've had a hell of a year. We've had a hell of a year. Theirs has been a little better. Questions, I'll take them.
Coach, you're up 4 with about 8.5 to go, and then they go on a 9-0 run.
Yeah.
How much does that type of momentum play in this big of a game?
Well, it plays big, and they got up 4 because we didn't cover the ball screens right. They got downhill and kicked it to the corners, and that bothers me because we had worked on that morning, noon, and night. So we did not execute that. It wasn't that they hit threes off the ball screen. They hit threes by penetrating, and when you penetrate like that, that's why you give up those 3 offensive rebounds that we did twice late. And so that's something that we've been pretty good at. We weren't very good at it today, and give them credit. They executed it very well, and you still have to make a shot. Axel was every bit as good as the billing, and he made them all.
Tom, what did you think of Spears' foul, the technical foul in the first?
I'm not talking about that. You know what? I don't think he did anything on purpose. I think it was a reaction. I don't know the whole deal about it. It was a critical play, as they all are. But I thought Jeremy Fears played his ass off 99% of that game. And you know what? I did what I was going to do. I chewed him out for it, but I watched it on tape, and guys pushing him in the back, and sometimes that stuff happens. I'm sick of it being one-sided, though. That's what upset me about the first time. So Fears will get his lunch from me. I wonder if some of their guys will get their lunch from what happened in the first game that didn't get public. But I don't condone anything. I don't think he tried to kick him on purpose. If you watch it, it was like he didn't even know he did it, and then he probably said, "Oh, that's Fears. Let's go." So, don't condone it. Don't know exactly what happened, except he did get pushed in the back, and that's why he got the foul. And you know what? Fears has done a hell of a job since getting publicly reprimanded by everybody, and he's done a hell of a job. And nobody's tougher on him than me. Nobody will be tougher on him than me. And I was proud of the way he played, and maybe not proud of that one incident. I don't know. But gang, this is it's a physical sport. It's a physical game. And that's the way it works.
I'm wondering about that sequence. You guys had it tied, and then Kenny hits a couple big shots. And just wondering, the job you guys did defensively on Cadeau and Mara, how much did McKinney offset that?
Well, he made a couple big plays. Now, one of them, I'm mad at my staff because I wanted to get Jeremy out because he was getting tired. And he gave up that 3 on the left thing flat out because he was dead tired. And so that's not on Jeremy either. That's on me. And no, I'm not protecting him. I'm telling you the truth. You know what? We tried to recruit McKinney. He's a hell of a player, and he made a couple big shots. And what did he end up with? I thought the other guy that hurt us, he got 12 points. I thought the other guy that hurt us was Gale. We knew we were playing him for the drive, and a couple guys went brain dead and started closing up on him, and he just drove right by him, which is what he does and what he's good at. We want him to shoot the ball, so that was a mistake on our part.
Tom, you've seen your team play this Michigan team a month ago. You see them now. You've seen them the last 3 weeks. How different the team in terms of growing into what you want in the coming months do you see out there versus where they were a month ago?
I mean, we're a better team. I think we're getting better every day. I thought the last 3 weeks, even though we laid an egg in that last 5 minutes because the coach was stupid, I thought we did a hell of a job in probably 5 of the last 6 games, to be honest with you. So I think we are getting better. And, you don't go on the road and beat. I mean, we went on the road today. Pretty good environment for here. Pretty good environment. And I thought our guys hung in there just great. And we just didn't make the plays, and they did make the plays, and that's why they're 29-2 and deservingly so.
Tom, what did your freshmen learn today that can help them moving forward in tournament time?
That's a $1 million question. Cam struggled early. He got those 2 fouls, and once he did, he was kind of out of it, which happens with freshmen. It happens with freshmen. And Jordan, I thought missed a couple of shots, but Jordan plays so hard. I don't have a problem there. I thought it took the wind out of Cam's sails, and I did talk to him in the locker room about that. Our freshmen, you got to grow up now. You just came. These are big games now. Okay, the next big game you lose, you go home. If you lose it at the Big Ten tournament, you go home. If you lose it in the NCAA tournament, you go home. So you got to, nobody's going to pat them on the back. I mean, they've got 31 games in now. And it's just part of the process, something that nobody wants to hear about or talk about. It's part of the journey. It's part of the process that you go through. If freshmen was as good as the juniors and seniors, that doesn't happen. So there's not a guy I'm not proud of. There's not a guy I'm not mad at, because I think we blew some ball screen coverages that I think key guys should have known better. But you don't know, what these guys have been through in the last 3 weeks too. And I've had a lot of good teams, but we're going to be a better team because of this.
The points off turnovers, you talked about that, the first matchup. The turnovers were about even, but the points off were. Today, you have only 7 turnovers.
You didn't like what I said, or what? I'm sorry.
That's all right. Only 7 turnovers today, I think, but 14 points off it for them. And it seemed like a replay almost of the first matchup, and them just taking advantage of every mistake you guys made.
Yeah, that's why you're 29-2. They did a good job, but we call them flybys. They got 1 for. They didn't get a layup. They got 2 free throws. We did a pretty good job. They go contest the shot, and then they take off, and Morris is so good at outletting, he just outlets the thing to the court. I thought we did a damn good job of that. My number 1 thing was turnovers. At halftime, we had 2 turnovers. Did a hell of a job on that. My number 2 was the rebounding. We were out-rebounding them on offensive end 7-2. That's what we thought they were going to be a problem. So we took care of that. What we didn't take care of is our damn ball screen coverage. And I don't know what happened. We went brain dead because we just weren't up, which we've done a lot. So it's got to be the coach, because we just didn't do a good enough job. So you got to blame us. We didn't get it done. But that led to those penetrating kickouts, and they hit some big shots in the corner. And hey, I give them a lot of credit. They made some really big, tough shots, and but we played pretty well too.
On the flip side of that, the first half there were 2 sequences, Curry's 2 threes, and then there was one where Jackson and Trace teamed up. I wonder if that maybe would have, not to say like made up for some of the mistakes, but in the second half when he hit 1 3, does that almost really make it marginal how many mistakes you can make? It just makes things tighter.
No, you don't get to make mistakes when you play good teams. And you don't get to make mistakes when you're on the road when you play really good teams. And you don't get to make mistakes in the Big Ten tournament when you play good teams. No, and nothing makes up for it. You don't make up for it. You live with it. You know what you hope? You hope they make more mistakes than you make. and the game is of mistakes. But on things that we should know, I felt sorry for Coop. You know, he goes and, I don't know, maybe he never had a date at the prom or something. He went and hugged the guy. You know, I don't know what the hell it was for. But, I mean, poor kid. I mean, he knows that since that's third grade. And it just happened. And I thought Coop played his butt off. And I thought Jackson did. I thought, you know, we did a pretty good job of getting downhill and kicking back, and we got some guys some shots there. Guys, I wouldn't have changed anything except our ball screen coverage a little bit. I really wouldn't have.
Tom, you said Yaxel lived up to the billing. What makes him, in particular, challenging to guard?
Well, when he hits his first 2 threes, kind of off the dribble, I haven't seen him do that a lot. Maybe he does. You know, I'm not around all the time for that. But, you know, he can guard it. He's got pretty good foot speed. He's 6'9". He's 230, 40 pounds. What makes him good? Are you blind?
You're the Hall of Famer.
Everything. Everything made him good. He handled it. He passed it. He shot it. I don't know how many rebounds he had. He only had 3 rebounds, so he didn't rebound very good.
One of the rebounding was what I was going to ask you about. It seemed like maybe that last 10 minutes, Michigan really got better positionally and kind of out-positioned you guys on the offensive glass,
Yeah.
especially.
You know what I thought there? I told Doug this on the bench. You know, where last year we had strength in numbers. We just don't have the same numbers right now. We got tired. They got better. He did a good job, you know. I do think Kason is a big loss for him. You know, will that hurt him in a tournament? I don't know. But I do think he's a very good player. And he gave him that 9th man like we had last year. With 8, it was still better than our 7 because we didn't, you know, our poor Cam was just struggling and was in foul trouble. And, you know, you look at 2 of their last 3 guys coming off the bench, McKinney and Gale, 17 points, you know. They did a hell of a job, so they deserve credit.
Tom, for all the success you've had with this group this year, the pride you talked about today within this group, now that every game from here on out has tournament attached to it, what's your level of excitement to go to war with these guys when you talked about it, everything is...
Oh, I want to practice when I get home. I think we're on break, so it might be legal. I do. I think the mistakes we made are so correctable. In general, you know, we're shooting the ball better, and today, poor Jordan, you know, who's been playing really good for us, just struggled, had some good shots, he struggled. We still shot pretty good from the free throw line. Jeremy missed a critical front end of a one-on-one when, you know, those are the things that I tried to tell him. You didn't try to do it. I mean, it's nobody's fault, but those are the things that cost you. And you got to do a lot of things right to win 29 games, to win the league by 3 games or whatever they did. You got to do things right like we did last year. There's not a lot of margin for error as you get closer to the top and as the teams you play get better and the heat is on even more. I thought for the most part, I thought our freshmen looked like freshmen. You know, they had the deer in the headlights look. You guys wouldn't know about that in the UP, you know, the headlights, deer, you know, and whatever. But I still wouldn't trade any of my guys for the world right now. I was really proud of everything except I think we tired. And got to do a little better job on that myself.
Take one more if there is.
Is the ball screen coverage communication or just?
No, like we were supposed to step up and we just didn't do it. I'm not going to give you who didn't do it. There was a variety of people. And if that doesn't get done, then I got to look at what me and my staff are coaching because that's what we do. That was a point of emphasis to keep Cadeau. And I guess to their credit, it wasn't Cadeau a lot. You know, they used Axel in that a few times. They used a couple other guys in that, and that made a difference. But, you know, a couple of key plays when Mraz got that one on the block, and I thought he pushed off and it ended up a 3-point play. You know, those things didn't go. We did a good job on Mara. We did a good job on Cadeau. We didn't do a good job on Axel, and we didn't do a good job on Mraz, and he's a hell of a player too. So probably if you look at it, the two subs, you know, we don't get beat very often. We didn't, 29-8 off the bench, and those guys deserve credit for that.
One more thing, if Cam Ward's not in foul trouble, is that a card that you can attempt to put on Yaxel when he's at the 4 and that type of thing? Or
Well, we had hoped so. That's what we thought.
didn't have that card to play?
We didn't have that card to play, and you know, we knew that that would be a lot to ask of Jackson, you know, and sometimes he was on him, and so, you know what? They did some good things, and we didn't counter good enough, but when it was 76-72, we had our chance, and they got the 3 rebounds, ball went out of bounds, and then they hit the 2 free throws, and then it just got away a little bit, you know. I mean, it really didn't get away. We missed those 2 shots in there that were halfway down, you know, Coops and Cohen's, and but they played good.
Yaxel hit his first 2 3-pointers kind of off the bounce, off the move a little bit. The ones he hit after that, how did you like the coverage on those? Were those ones where coverage broke down a little bit, or those shots you can live with? What do you think about?
No, I can't live with any shot he makes. Those were the ball screen problems. We got off on ball screens, we got downhill, people helped, he kicked out. Inside-out shots are really good 3-point shots. As you saw, you know, Jeremy's not a great 3-point shooter. I think he hit 2, didn't he?
He had 3.
3? Well, he hit 2 of them on inside-out passes. Those are the best. That's the kind of passes they had. They had inside-out passes because of our, because we didn't cover the ball screens, right?
Jeremy, in the last 6 games, he's been hitting that 3. What has that given you as you head deeper into March now?
Well, it gives us,
Does it make a difference?
oh, for sure. For sure, it makes a difference. And I'm getting more, you know, Cohen made a nice move on the post in there. In practice, I'm getting more and more to Cohen. He's just got to get more and more. But he rebounded well today. He went up and got a couple above the rim. And we're going to make it miserable for somebody. We are. And I just feel bad because I thought we did enough. The game should have gone right down to the wire. Maybe we were still lost, but that couple of stretches. So no problem. They deserve to win. We deserve to feel like I got a hell of a bunch of kids. I got guys that are, as I said, 55 and 13 over 2 years. And I think we got a lot of basketball left in us. So we'll see if we can do that.
Thanks, guys.